Hi there, I'm Dan Whittaker. I'm here to talk to you today about the benefits of setting up within the reverse K setup position and the advantages this could have for your golf game, what it would be beneficial for, why we want you to set up in that manner, and most importantly of all, the functionality of it, the best for your body with the biomechanics, and lastly, how it can make you more consistent within your golf game, giving you repeatability at impact. Now, simply put, the reverse K is just aligning your spine and your hips to one another to allow you to make an efficient turn in the golf swing. In traditional setup over the years, we've tended to see that people have set up with a higher right hip or with the hips parallel to the floor, whilst the shoulders have gone on an angle here. Now, the shoulders will always be on an angle because when we grip the golf club, the right hand is below the left hand on the club. This obviously tilts the shoulders. If we don't correspondingly tilt the hips, we're going to be actually compressing part of our spine. Now, the part of our spine that we're going to be compressing is in the midsection right here. So what this means is that your spine will essentially end up looking like this instead of a straight line. Now, what I would be wanting you to do is to set up on a tilt away from the target with your spine, but having your shoulders and your hips parallel to one another. So what we'd see is when I stand up right here, we can clearly see that my spine is at 90 degrees to this stick of my hips. Now, when I take hold of the golf position normally, okay, keeping the hips there, the upper body just tilts, creating a crooked spine. What we want to do is from here is to just as the right hip goes down, or the right shoulder goes down, the right hip wants to go down at correspondingly the same amount. So I have a tilt away from the target, meaning my hips and my shoulders are on the same angle as one another, away from the target. This is very important because it makes a big difference in terms of me being able to turn back and turn through properly. If I set up here with the hips quite level or even a little bit high, what can tend to happen during the backswing is that the hips will sway away from the target a little bit here, whilst my upper body tilts towards the target to realign my spine into a straight position. Okay, from here then what will happen is I'll almost end up in a reverse pivot position and I've got no rotation from the thoracic region of my spine. That's because the thoracic region has been compressed and I've not been able to turn around it properly. Or the other way I tend to see it is when you get the hips a bit too level here at address, a little bit too much sway off the golf ball. Both of these aren't conducive to being consistent. Now, the reverse K doesn't have to be an excessive thing. What part of it is with an iron is bumping the hips forwards just a little bit, okay, and with the right hip down just a touch. So the hip is against that stick and the shoulder will also be against that stick. Okay, so that's the address position I want to find myself in. Now, Hunter Mahan sets up in this address position and he's very, very consistent. We just saw there with Hunter the way that he was set up. We could see that vertical line against the left-hand side of his body. What this means is that it's a lot easier for him to get it over that left side to then be able to go around it at the end of the follow-through. Because what we're wanting to do is from the top of the backswing right here, we want to try and get past the pivot point to then be able to go around it. Now, if we set up back of that pivot point right here, I've got a long way to make up this distance here. So I've already got 3 or 4 inches to make up in terms of a lateral shift just to get to my left side, then another 2 or 3 to get over it. This can compromise the rotational element of my golf swing and make it so that I've got a long way to shift before I can start to unwind and rotate through the golf shot, making things quite inconsistent because I have to time and judge that amount of motion laterally I've got to try and make through the golf ball. Okay. The other thing about the reverse K is that what it does is it aligns, like I say, the hips and the spine, but what it will do is we have a thing by Stanford University where they did a study based on pelvic obliquity, which is simply put the angle between the left and the right hip on angles high and low. And what they found is that with the longer hitters, the left hip went up through the golf ball, creating more speed. Okay, now I'm not saying that this is the only way to do it, but if you set up with everything aligned properly, so you can actually make a correct rotation in the backswing, what can then happen through the golf ball is that left hip can work up as the left side is rising without, if it's a bit level here, it's got a long way to go to create that movement. So effectively that could slow down your speed, and in the Stanford study that they did, they found that setting up with the right hip lower was A, more efficient, and B, provided more speed. So it's got quite a few benefits that really could enhance and help your golf game. Now, Hunter Mahan we know is a very rotational golfer, but with that left hip closer to the line, what it allows him to do is he can get over that left side and then rotate around it much quicker, therefore taking advantage of that rotational speed element within his game. For us as well, what we don't want to do is to see that spine misaligned at address. A, it's going to mean we're going to have compensations. B, potentially bad back, and C, we're going to really lose the rotational element of the swing, and most definitely going to make you a little bit more potential to be a bit more inconsistent. I really hope you've enjoyed this video I've done on the reverse K setup. If you'd like to see more from me, please subscribe to my channel. I've got my Facebook and Twitter links below, some really good information on there. I am available for online lessons, and I'm also based here at Altrincham Driving Range, so please come down to see me, or alternatively I'll go over to America 4 or 5 times a year. Love to see you there. Thanks again for watching. I look forward to talking with you again very soon with some exciting content.